Okay, sorry. No, I need his orientation. Ha. No, guys. I need this video to be like this. No, I cannot do it. Oh my goodness. Guys, what's going on? I need this video to be in landscape mode. What am I going to do? I mistakenly started this in the wrong mode. No. Wahala. Hello, if there's anybody there, good to see you. I need to put this phone. Wonderful. Okay. Since we have mistakenly gone live like this, welcome to this live. We'll just wait for people to join and then we start. Wow, so good to be on this live. Let's see. This lighting thing. I need to get. Let me get. I need to make myself high on this. Probably get to scrap all of this out after some time, but it's fine. Okay. So I made the mistake of please let me know if you can hear me. Welcome everybody. Ask Uche, please let me know if you can hear me. Just type it down in the comments. So I'm looking to just give a few minutes to people who are late to join. So that's what we'll be waiting for. You know, normal Nigerian, African time things now. We have to just put all that into consideration. Okay. Just let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me down in the comments. I need to bring this a bit lower. Okay. I think we're good like this. Yeah, this looks better. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Askuchi. Glad to know you can hear me now. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this live. I'm so excited. I have in fact, the kind of questions that I've gotten for this navigating life as a military spouse life. I'm itching to just share my story. So you guys should just buckle your seatbelts, grab a glass of wine, grab water, whatever it is that you just want to be nibbling while you're hearing all the tea, while I'm spilling the tea. So just grab all that and we'll just give a few minutes. Let's say let's give maybe 10 minutes. Is 10 minutes okay? We'll just give 10 minutes to people to join us, and once 10 minutes elapses, that's 5 more minutes from now. I think the live is 4 minutes 39 seconds in. So once we are 10 minutes in, we're starting. I'm going right into it. So I want to be considerate in case some people are just trying to tidy up 1 or 2 things and then join us. So let's just get this party started. Let's get this party started. Let me know where you are joining from. Uche, where are you joining from? Which city, which town, which country? Let me know in the comments, to see how diverse diverse my community is. And let me also know how you heard about this. Did you hear about this from Instagram, or did you hear about it from YouTube? Let me know in the live chats. Welcome if you are just joining in. Type in the comments where you are joining in from. Okay, joining in from Lagos, Nigeria. Nice one, Uche. Yeah, welcome. I'm also in Lagos as well, so it's good to have you on my live stream. I want to know where others are joining from. You guys should type in the chats where you're joining from. You're all welcome. We're about to get this party started. If you are just joining, we're basically just giving about 3-4 minutes to the latecomers to join. Okay, you said you came on YouTube now and it was recommended to you. Oh, it was the first thing on your feed. Nice. YouTube, thank you for recommending this live to Uche. Thank you, YouTube. Uche, you must be a very, of course you're subscribed to my channel, but YouTube must have seen something that made them recommend it to you. So I'm happy for that. It means that you are probably a loyal subscriber or something. So I'm thanking you for everything, for your contribution to my channel, your support in any way, and for being on this live as well. Thank you so much, Uche. Thank you. So welcome guys. Type in the comments, let me know where you guys are joining from and how you heard about this live. I would also like to know. Let's talk. The live chats, you can just type your questions in the live chat. That's how we can interact, even if I can't see your face, I can always read from you in the live chat. So talk to me. Okay, Life with Jacinta says that I've waited and anticipated for a while now. Nice. Jacinta, are you sure you're not the one that... I think you dropped a comment. I don't know if it's you, but I've gotten a comment on one of my videos about this particular topic, doing something around military spouse, and I think that was the inspiration for what I posted on the poll. So since you're saying that you've been anticipating for a while now, could that be you? Wow, could that be you, Jacinta? Thank you so much, Uche. I'm happy you're here as well. I'm very happy you're here. So in less than 2 minutes, we're going to just dive into the video. I have, I think, 8 questions that we'll be looking at. I see, if you leave me, I can talk, but I'm going to try as much as possible to make this as concise as I possibly can. Okay, I can see some questions coming in. Okay, I'm going to answer this one. Let me note it down so it doesn't get lost in the chats. Ask Uche is dropping some questions. Okay, I'm noting it down right now so that I don't miss it. And Jacinta says that she's joining from Bauchi State. Oh, you follow me on Instagram and you saw my post. Thank you so much, Jacinta. Thank you. Wow, how is it in Bauchi right now? Bauchi State, Yankari Game Reserve. That's the only thing I know about Bauchi State. But how is the weather? How is the security? How is life generally in Bauchi State? I don't think I know anybody that stays there, like personally, but now I know you stay there. So if anybody asks me, I'll be like, yes, I have someone in Bauchi. I know somebody that stays all the way in Bauchi. I love to travel, so Yankari Game Reserve was something that I had intended. It was a place I had intended to visit, I think two years ago, but the plan didn't quite work out. but it's fine. Maybe someday I would find myself in Bauchi State, and I'll definitely be sure to holler at you, Jacinta. Definitely. Okay, so 10 minutes. We're 10 minutes into the live, and I'm going to dive into it. Time flies when you're chatting and just having fun. Okay, so I'll do a quick introduction for anyone who is new to my channel and doesn't quite know me. My name is Uju, and of course the name of my channel is Fitness Freak. Sorry, just feel like this hair should come a bit forward. Yeah, I think this looks better. So my name is Uju, and the name of my channel is Fitness Freak because I am such a fitness freak, of course, and I share videos around fitness, self-improvement, and lifestyle. So I had a suggestion from one of my community members to do a video about navigating life as a military spouse. And I thought to myself, and I was like, okay, you could do it in form of a live or in form of a Q&A where you get people to send in questions and then you answer. So, oh, Jacinta. So Jacinta actually said it was her. So that suggestion came from Jacinta. Thank you so much. Because of you, we are doing this. So you are the reason why we are here. Thank you, Jacinta. So I gave I did a poll where I asked for people to select, just cast their votes out of 3 topics what you wanted me to talk about in this upcoming live, which we are currently on. And navigating life as a military spouse was the winning option, and that's why we're here. So I have questions that I got from Instagram and questions from YouTube as well. There are about 8 in total, so I'm going to just dive straight into it. The first question I was asked is, I'll just read it off. I have it written down here, so I'll be looking down in case you see me looking down. It says, it's almost as if you are expected to turn on and turn off your emotions. How do you find a balance? So this question, what I was a bit confused about was, I don't know if it's for me, the spouse, me that is not in the military, to turn on and turn off my emotions, or if that question is directed to my husband. So I'm not quite sure exactly who that question is directed to. But if I'm answering from my perspective, my emotions are always on. Should I say, like, I'm an emotional person, so I don't really feel the need to do like a step up or step down. I'm just myself. I won't say I understand that question very well, but I'm just going to answer it like generally. I'm always on. Okay, it's for me, right? Okay, Uche said that the question is for me. I don't think I turn on and turn off my emotions, actually. What I do is I find out that I try to be more logical about some things, right? I try to be more logical about some things, and as ladies, as women are very emotional beings. One thing marriage taught me is that sometimes just leave emotions aside and think, like, leave your heart and just use your number 7. So I learned, like, over time, I just learned that it's not going to always be about me. Life is not going to always revolve around what I want or what I am feeling at any given time. Sometimes I have to just step out of myself, like step out of my head, so to speak, and look at things from a holistic point of view, and just try to adapt logically so that emotions don't kind of spoil the relationship I have or spoil the life that I have. Because at times you see yourself overthinking certain things because of emotions, whereas it's not really what it is. it doesn't have anything to do with you. For okay, I think I'll just give an instance. An example is if maybe my husband needs to go away for a course or for work or something. Of course, emotionally, I'm like, oh, I just wish you can be here with me. Like, I just wish you can not go. I just wish you are here 247. But logically thinking, I know that this is the work that he does. He definitely needs to go away when duty calls, So I think how I find that balance is to try to be as logical as possible, if that answers that question correctly. Thank you for the question. So let me just look in the chat. Uche says, I think she's asking, how do you deal with him going away and being with him? Okay, I think I've answered that. I try to be logical about when duty calls, basically. Robot Master says, I have a question about Robot Master, I don't know if you're asking the right question to the right life. Well, here we're talking about navigating life as a military spouse. So I don't get that question, Robot Master. Ask Uche said, okay. Ask Uche, I'll note this other question down. I will get to it because I have a list of questions. So I'll just follow them chronologically. Oh good, it's going to get juicy. I have so much to share. So question number 2, let's move. How do you deal with his absence emotionally, especially when work demands so I feel the first question kind of answers this. Emotionally, I think I try to psych myself up. I just try to look beyond the current situation. I just try to speak to myself and remind myself that whatever it is only for a time. If he's going away for work, it's only for a time. No matter how long it lasts, the truth is that the time will come when we can always be together. The time will come where he wouldn't have to go away as much. So I always just try to psych myself up and also find solace in the fact that we would always stay connected one way or the other. There is another question that talks about how we stay connected, so I'm going to go into details with that. But for this particular question that talks about emotionally, like how I deal with his absence, I just always try to psych myself up. And I think I'm someone that right from time I've done well with long distance relationships. That's another thing. I'm not someone that is very like that has been used to doing relationships that are always close by. For the longest time, I was okay. Let me just go a bit into my background. I was born and raised in Jos, Plateau State. And as young as 11 years, when I was 11 years, I had to come to Lagos for secondary school. And I was in Lagos for like 6-7 years when my parents were all the way in Jos, Plateau State. So I think from an early age, I kind of started getting used to loving from a distance. Of course, family love is different from the relationship I have with my husband. But then again, I think that also plays a huge role. Like, that's training I have, so to speak, around relationship and communicating from a distance, and should I say showing my emotions from a distance. Because I remember when I was in secondary school, there were times I'll feel homesick. I could just cry it out, but I'll suck it up again and go about my day. I know I need to pass my exams. There are times when I'll miss him, but because we have a system where we always stay connected, it kind of just helps me to bridge that gap, and that connection is always there. I hope that answers that question. So that's basically how I deal with his absence. And the question number 3 says, how do you make sure you and your husband stay connected? So now this is going to be like a continuation of the last question, because I'll now explain how I make sure we stay connected. But there's another question that asks, how do you cope with distance? So I think the answer I'll give now would actually be answering those two questions. How do you make sure you stay connected, and how do you cope with distance? So now when I and my husband are apart, like when he's away for work or whatever, the shortest phone call, like that we did not talk, that's bad as it bad, we did not talk, we would speak for at least 1 hour every single day, like on a daily basis. If we have not spoken, if we have not done like a 1 hour call, then that day that means that day there was really something. So how we stay connected is literally always keeping each other up to date on the things that we are doing, on the on everything. Okay, when we were dating, I think when we just started dating, I had to go away to UK for my master's study, and he was away in some other country or so. So I went away first, and then he came back to Nigeria, but for like a period of 1.5 years, in fact a period of 2 years, we were comfortable, like we're apart. Now when I was in UK, my husband literally had my entire timetable, like my study timetable, my class timetable. He knew the times when I was in class, he knew the times when I was free, he knew when I had like to go to my part-time job, he knew when I had to go to like my extracurricular society activities. Like he knew my schedule like the back of his hand. So I think that was kind of like when that system of us staying connected started. And on his own part as well, I also knew the times when he was going to be in an area that was was out of range, like out of service, and he would give me that heads up, like, oh okay baby, maybe for the next 3 days I'm not going to have network, and I'm aware. Or there was one time, I think the one that I nearly ran mad on, that was like for 2 weeks he was going to be away from network, and I was like, oh my goodness. But the most important thing is that once we are in areas where we can stay connected, where we can make calls, where we can text each other. See, if we've not spoken, but there are times when, let's say I had a tiring day or he had a tiring day, and maybe one of us sleeps off, the next day you have a question, like you have query to answer, that how far, what happened, we did not say good night. In fact, there are times where we will be talking to each other like within the course of a day, and then the next day I'm like, baby, what happened yesterday? Like we didn't talk. He'll be like, no now, but we spoke. I'll say, we spoke but we did not talk. Now speaking is different from talking. We can speak on updates here and there, but talking is now when we now make those calls that last like 1 hour. We sometimes, like on few occasions, we've been on the phone for 4 hours. See, I'm not kidding you. I will just have my phone and he'll be on the phone, and then I am going about my day. I will literally cook a whole meal, sweep the house, mop the house, take my shower. I could even be driving, like I'm going about my day, and he's on the phone with me. I am like, when you see me now, I see multitasking. We're like 5 and 6, because being in a distant relationship taught me the power of multitasking. So I think that's basically how we stay in touch. And funny enough, there was one time my mom asked me a question. My mom was like, so wait, so when you were on the phone, this was even before we got married, what do you talk about? And I could not answer my mother. See, I could not even answer. I could not even say this is what we talk about or this is not what we talk about. And I asked my husband. I was like, "See what mommy asked me." Mommy was like, "When I'm on the phone, like when we're on the phone, when we're on the phone, what do we talk about?" And my husband was like, "We talk about our day. Like, we just talk about how our day went." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's what we talk about. We talk about our day." So it was when he answered that it dawned on me that, Omo, this is exactly what we talk about. But I wasn't consciously aware. I just know that we used to talk about everything and anything. And I just got a hint in the comments. My husband is even in the comment section. I so he reminded me that had CUG. Glow had CUG, but I think we were using Etisalat CUG because when he was in it was the time he was in Northeast and network wasn't so strong, like internet network, of course, because calls on internet are cheaper than normal calls that you use airtime. So I think we did Etisalat CUG. Was it Etisalat or Glow? One of those CUG, like, okay, Airtel. Yes, baby, that's true. See, my husband is in the comments giving me hints. We did Airtel CUG, and that was what we used to talk. So once we recharge 1,000 naira for a month, all our calls will be free. I think that was even part of the beginning of our ginger for the long calls, because of course if you're paying through airtime there's no encouragement to talk for so long because it won't be sustainable long time. But we're using Airtel CUG that was costing us barely 1,000 naira each in a month, like, so we could talk as long as we wanted. I remember that. So it was at the point where he left Northeast that we now switched to like internet calls, because he was now in areas where internet was strong enough. Yes, thank you for the hints, baby. Okay, so Ask Uche says, this is aside, did you catch a cold? Oh yes. You noticed from my voice. Yeah, I was a bit down last week, so I'm just recovering. Yeah, sorry if my voice is kind of this thing. Thank you. I actually got down with something last week. I'll probably, yeah. Thank you, Ask Uche. You noticed. She says, "Oh, so you know Jos?" Of course, I was born and raised in Jos. I'm a J-Town girl. Thank you. Thanks, Uche. Says sorry. Thank you very much, Uche. So let me move on to the next question. This question says, do you often get to deal with his mental traumas from work? Are there any disciplinary acts he displays that I always want him to leave at work? And how do you ensure he keeps fit to stay relevant? So this is like 3 questions in one. So I'll just answer the first one. Do you often deal with his mental traumas from work? That's a very, military related based questions. So to be honest, I think those mental traumas from work, like this type of his work, they are called PTSD, if I'm correct. I can't quite remember the full meaning of PTSD, but I think that's what it's called. So there was a time that I feared he had PTSD, but I actually got to find out that it was just in my head, and that was earlier on in our relationship, and it wasn't something that I needed to worry about, because he actually didn't have, for some reason. See, I don't know how my husband did it. He spent years in Northeast, but he came out sane and okay. I can decide to give credit to myself to say, okay, because I was always, there for him emotionally. No day went by that we weren't talking. So I can give myself credit to that. See, I'm the one that, if I was your therapist all the while that you were not East, and I was the one that made you sane through it all. But what I can say is that I'll take some part of the glory, but I'll say all glory belong to God as well. For some reason, he was able to navigate that part of his life, come out of it, and still, be normal, in society, in every other aspect of life. My husband has this thing where he's able to like really switch it up. I hardly see that work part of him, like that part where he has to be like strict, discipline and all that, which answers the second questions. And the second question: are there any disciplinary acts he displays that always want him to leave at work? Absolutely not. Like, there is nothing he does at home or with me that that I want him to leave at work. With me, he's the loving, emotional, caring, like going overboard husband. At work, he's also like giving it his full 100%. So that's why I also know I also know how to manage my expectations. When my husband is at work, I respect the fact that he's at work. I respect the fact that he needs to give it his full attention. So unless there's an emergency, like if I know he's really handling something serious, I won't just go calling him unnecessarily. I could send him a text message or a chat, which is something that we do internally. We just say hashtag TAY. I drop it in his chat. And hashtag TAY is a code that we use between ourselves. If you want me to share what that means, I'll share it, but let me know in the live chat if you want me to share what hashtag TAY means. So and he said hashtag TAYT. My husband just dropped hashtag TAYT in the comments. Yes, that's exactly what we do. So when he's away at work and I want him to know, like I just want to go into his DM, I drop hashtag TAY and he responds. And he does the same for me as well. So to answer that question, he doesn't do the whole he doesn't like mix up work with family life. My husband separates the two, like effortlessly. Effortlessly. I don't know how he does it, but he just does it, and he does it in a very wonderful and amazing way. I don't know how he does it, because he's like up there work wise, as in, he's even with his exams, his everything is like, he's not even average, like up there. And then with husband duties and being homey, he's here too. So he's just like an all-rounder. Thank you. Uche said that she loves how supportive he is. He is, oh, like, honestly. And then if I'm to reverse, if I just, let me take a step back to that question that talked about how how often I get to deal with his mental trauma. So just a few months, a couple of months after he left Northeast, or whenever he's on pass, like within his time, then it wasn't something that was major. But if you as much as just try to close the door, like the door just closes like bam, my husband will just jump up from sleep like this with eyes shining. Baby, sorry that I'm sharing this, but I think I need to mention it. But that was literally the only thing, that was an effect of the time that he spent in Northeast. Just always being alert to any sound. Like, even if somebody, maybe one loud sound from one place, once he hears that sound, he's like, what is that? Like, he wants to know, what is that sound I'm hearing? So it took him just a few months to be able to adjust, and adapt to the life that is outside of that Northeast life, so to speak. So I just thought to highlight that. But besides that, there was absolutely nothing else that reflected the trauma of this thing. I don't have to deal with anything from his life in that manner. And then the other question here says, how do you ensure he keeps fit enough to stay relevant? So when you say fit enough to stay relevant, is it in terms of like his fitness lifestyle to stay relevant in his work? Is that what you mean? But I'll assume that's what you mean. And to be honest, in the army, unless, if I'm correct me or if I'm wrong, but I don't think being fit is something that is a mandatory thing. They have like routine physical tests that they take, which of course, in fact, my husband's training from NDA, I've told him that the training he did in Nigerian Defence Academy is enough to last him 50 years. Because when he tells me stories of their training, for instance, they used to run 40 kilometers every day, abi every week, abi every something, I'll be like, almost see this thing, it wasn't beans at all. So the the trainings that they had like way back then, somehow it's still adding up, or it's compounded to where he's at now. There was one particular time that I challenged my husband. There was one particular time that I challenged my husband to a race. Like, I was feeling like, I can beat you. Let's run. I remember that time we're in South region. That was when he was in serving. That was when he was serving in South, and I went to visit him. So we're just taking a casual stroll like that. It was a remote town, not like the city. Imagine just two lovebirds holding hands, in the village, taking a walk, rural love. We're doing a rural love thing. And then I think that day I was on my fitness gear and he probably wore canvas, because to get that my husband to work out sometimes he'd be like, see, the suffer I suffered in NDA, I beg, just leave it at that, don't come and stress me. And I understand him very well, because the training was rigorous. So on his own, to now come and start trying to replicate that is a lot, but I get you. So that particular day we're just walking and feeling cool with ourselves, and I was like, baby, let's race, let's just, in fact, 50 meters, let's run from here to here. Can you believe that when we said on your mark, get set, go, guys, the kind of speed that my husband just activated, I saw him in front. It was as if someone was using rope to draw me, because the more I was trying to run using my energy, the guy just gapped me and he was in front. And I was running with all my might. And I was like, oh boy, sorry, uncle, no vex, I'll not challenge you again. I said, so you have this kind of energy in you and you just choose to not use it. Like, when he decides to shock me sometimes with his energy, I used to humble. Me that claims fitness freak, I would just humble. I'll just be like, okay, sorry, just take over. So if it's for fitness, he has it in him. Like, he has it in him, but it's whether he chooses to use it that is the problem. So he used to conserve it. So I hope that answers that question. So he stays his fit. I cannot even argue that fact. He might grumble, he might be like, but he has it in him. It's just for him to make that choice to use the fitness for good, or use the fitness to try and just do shakara for me or something. And then okay, this question, how do you cope with the distance? I think I've answered that alongside another question that I answered earlier. So this next question is asks, do I have a gun? Absolutely no, I don't have a gun. I don't own a gun. I don't even wish or intend to own a gun. Sorry, if we're in the US, that would be question for another day, because everybody in the US is having guns. But so long as we're in this Nigeria, no, I don't own a gun. And then the next question here is, does he get to be on the battlefront If yes, do you feel anxious, or how do you cope with that? So yes, he has had times where he was in the battlefront. In fact, this question of battlefront actually is funny, because when we just started dating and I was away, before I moved back, he was away as well. So before he moved, well, by the time he moved back, the first place he was posted to was Northeast. And then I I of course used to talk to him, he gives me gist. And one thing with my husband is, I didn't even understand how much he used to like he used to he no, not like he used to sugarcoat the gist, but he used to select the kind of gist he gives me. So he was very conscious to put my heart at ease. Like, I didn't even realize how much he was really like always mindful of what he shares with me. And most of the things I heard that made me anxious or made me scared was things I used to hear from people that be like, this one happened though, you don't, this one, like, you'll be hearing comments from people that will just be saying things, and then when I go back to ask him, my husband will just be calm. He'll be like, no, nah, no, don't mind them, no, it's not like that, or it's not like this. So he made a conscious effort to really not put me in that situation where I had to worry. And for some of the things that he probably didn't tell me, or he kind of tried to put to me in a way that will make me not to worry, what he said was, what's the point? Like, if he tells me so happened, or this is the situation, is there anything I can do about it that would change the situation in any way? No. So what is the point of sharing such with me that would only make me worry, that would only make me anxious? So what he would do normally is, maybe weeks after, maybe there was an incident or something that happened, he would now tell me, as per in the past, that in fact, this one happened or that one happened. So I'm hearing it like after it's happened, and I know he's safe, and everything is okay, and I'm like, oh wow, God, you did it again. So I think that's way of him handling. Yes, Uche says, can I save this live? I'll save it. It will be on my channel. So that way of him, like, managing what I hear, and the information that gets to me, really helped through our relationship. It helps through our relationship. And because my husband is someone that he's not trying to make you feel like he's the maybe greatest soldier, or the strongest of them all, or the bravest of them all. He has no interest in trying to boast or trying to feel big. So he's not keen to share, things that would probably put him in that limelight, but I know somehow would make me anxious. So he just takes it basically one step at a time, and tells me what I need to know on a need to know basis, not in a way to kind of like make me worried or anxious in any way. Yep. And then another thing that I held on to was God. See, God, one thing I just said is that, God, I know you will not make me fall in love with somebody and then make it something that would hurt me or put me in a situation where I would suffer. That's the kind of faith I just had in God. And I was like, I know you will not put me in this kind of situation. So this love that you are allowing me to love, I know that you have good intentions for this love that is innocent, love that is pure, love that is straightforward. I know that you have good intentions for me, for my life, for this love that I've chosen to give to this person. And same thing, like I saw my husband reciprocate that genuine love from his own part to me. And why not? Like, why question when your heart chooses to love somebody? Chizoba says we go love. Oh. Sorry. Chizoba, you this woman. So, for me, I just look at it from that perspective. I just look at it from that perspective that whatever it is, it's got to be. There are people, not to, of course, sound mean or anything, but someone doesn't really have to be in the military for their lives to be at risk. Someone doesn't have to be in the army to be endangered. There are other kinds of professions that probably have a higher life risk, or a higher risk, than the military. I won't start naming professions, but there are out there, professions that where people have somehow one thing or the other. When we look at, God forbid, but God, I'm sorry, maybe previous plane crashes that have happened in Nigeria. It was one plane crash that happened, it was people of high timber and caliber, that were on that plane, going for a business conference or going for one, big business, and a plane crash happened and people lost their lives. So my point is that life can happen or take any direction, but one thing that would always be constant is the kind of trust and belief that you have in the ultimate God, like God Almighty, that holds the key to everybody's life. Because I used to be, I believe that from the moment we are born, God already knows when we are going to leave this world. Nobody's going to live forever. I'm not going to live forever, but God already knows exactly when we're going to leave. So it doesn't matter the profession, it doesn't matter the gender, it doesn't matter who it is. Everybody is probably going to just meet their timely. See, what we just pray for is to live till a ripe old age. But as for whether we will live, me, I know one day I'll live. I don't even want to live forever, but I want to live till a ripe old age. So I think these are just the few things that help me to be able to manage my anxiety with pretty much about whether he's in the battlefront, he's not in the battlefront. He helps, like I would give him a lot of credit in managing the kind of information that got to me, and with the kind of assurance that he always gave me, it helped me to also be able to stand firm, when maybe I get comments that try to scare me or put me make me uneasy, because I know that this person is giving me that assurance. I'm cool, I'm okay. Like, once I hear from him, that's all I need to know, because he is the one that is the first hand informant. Every other thing is just hearsay. Whew. Guys, I am so excited about how far we've come. Let me see what we have in the comments so far. Okay, yeah, Jacinta said yes, they do tests. Yes, they do fitness tests. Yeah, sometimes it's swimming, sometimes it's running. Yes, they do that as well. And she says, Jacinta, you're like, they tend to do that. They always try to play. Yes, Jacinta says they try to play it down so you don't freak out. Yes, they do. They do actually. But there are also some that try to play it up so that it would make you look like, man, oh, you're going through a lot, you're working, you're doing this, They try to play the Rambo, so to speak. Some people also tend to take that route, but to each his own. everybody cannot be the same. Everybody should just choose how they want to probably manage their relationships with their spouses or their loved ones, So next question says, what's your challenge of being married to a military man? Because I know it's a lot. Well, what will I say my challenge is? I think the challenge would always be basically the same. The fact that they cannot be in one location for as long as you want them to be, and that uncertainty that one day they might just get posted out. I think for me the challenge is the uncertainty. But how I deal with that is, I'm someone that really tries to live in the moment. I'm not the kind of person to worry or overthink things, because I feel in overthinking and trying to figure out what do I do, how, what, where, you kind of lose the joys of the present. So I just try as much as possible to enjoy the time that we have together, the moments that we share together. Sometimes, lately, I know I have been, like, a lot of our activities, a lot of our dates, I just try to savor the memory, capture it, and I also post it on social media, not because I'm trying to, like, maybe pepper anybody, but I know I have paid the price for us to be at this point where we are living together under one roof. I have paid the freaking price. We went on how many years of dating, and then even years of being engaged from a distance. So this time where it has happened that we are together, well, best believe that I'm going to blow my trumpets. I'm going to raise the roof, because miracle no dey tire Jesus, they tire Jesus. But yeah, I'll just say that challenge for me has really been the uncertainty, of when or if he's going to be, like, posted out or something. But wetin person go do, you just have to keep living your best life. Thankfully, I'm someone that really enjoys travel. So for all the times where he was away in another state, the journey to visit and come back is something I look forward to, because I enjoy travel. And he was even telling me the other day that he might even be going away for some course or something, and I'm like, okay. I was like, but he was like, "Sure, you enjoy traveling?" And I'm like, yes, I enjoy traveling. I was like, okay, now that's travel for you. So I was like, okay, no problem, no wahala. But those are kind of like the ways that I'm able to look at the challenge in a positive light, So next question is, how did you meet your husband? How did I meet my husband? Okay, I met my husband, the short answer, on Facebook. I met my husband on Facebook in 2014. So the funny thing is, I served in Port Harcourt, Bori Camp, the barracks in Port Harcourt, and I think I was there from 2013 February to 2014. So in 2014, I had just finished service, and I was working in Abuja. So one fateful, I think one day in July that same year, I was just minding my business on Facebook, and then I saw this cute guy that just popped up on my timeline, and I'm like, who is this? And I noticed that he was even in the military. So because I already served in the barracks, that kind of piqued my interest even more. where I was like, where I was like, okay, who could this be? Do I know him? Is he probably maybe one of the officers that I had served with in Port Harcourt or something? And I then noticed that his birthday had just passed. So my husband's birthday is June 15th. In fact, next week Thursday from today. So his birthday had just passed. So that was July or August 2014. So I was like, okay, let me use this opportunity to just send him a message and be like, hey, happy belated birthday. So I sent him the message, and I guess that's the rest is history, as they say. But let me still give you some part of that history. So he replied, thank you. And then we just got chatting. And we got chatting, and I got to find out that someone this guy has been stalking me. Oh, he had just been, one of those your friends on Facebook that you don't even know they are there, but they are just watching your every move, and they are probably maybe shy to say hi. But I made the first move. I messaged him first, which is something that he'll probably not accept. But that was how we got started talking. And then part of our chats was where we're talking about. So I got to find out that he was, of course, a cool person, very relatable. And then he asked me what I was doing. And that was when they released one movie, Blended. So I was like, okay, I just finished seeing this movie in cinema, Blended. I just finished seeing this movie in cinema, Blended. And next thing, I was like, okay. So I asked him this question, which I think was what just blew his mind. I was like, so what do you do besides fighting crimes? And that question just burst his head. He was like, so you just think that I'm Batman, which he has even typed in the comments. He was like, I thought he was Batman. So he put it in the comments there. If you read the comment in the live chat, you see. Yes, apparently I thought he was Batman or something. I was like, okay, so what do you do besides fighting crime? And where I got that line from was Powerpuff Girls. Funny enough, because in Powerpuff Girls they'd be like, Professor Utonio accidentally added an extra ingredient, and the Powerpuff Girls were born using their ultra superpowers. Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup have dedicated their lives to fighting crime and the forces of evil. Dun, 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 dun. So if you watch Powerpuff Girls, that's the theme song. So from that line, fighting crime and the forces of evil, I was like, let me ask this Baba what he does for fun. And I was like, what do you do when you're not fighting crime? And that was how, like, in fact, we just hit it off from there. So we now took our chats outside Facebook chats, and then I think it was BBM that was raining then. So we now started chatting on BBM, and from BBM we now went on to WhatsApp Messenger. And I think the first time we met physically was that same year, maybe later, that 2014. And then we now, coincidentally, where his parents stay in Abuja was close to my parents' house. So you see how this life is. Like, we met online on Facebook, and then offline, our parents' houses were just a stone throw from each other. So I was living with my parents then, but he was not even working in Abuja. But coincidentally, anytime he comes into Abuja, we're friends though, we're just friends. But anytime he comes into Abuja, if we don't see, like, if we don't hang out, it's be like he has broken my heart. And we're just friends. Like, it's kind of entitled friendship. As you're entering Abuja, just be messaging me because we must catch up. So that friendship lasted all through, okay, the late 2014, 2015, 2016, and then I think it was by late 2016 that I was looking to do my master's, and I was trying out school. So coincidentally, I went to write ABU Zaria exam. So I'm not telling you, like, after our long term friendship and 2014, like, all this well, let me add that uncle was asking me out, but you know when you have friends zone somebody, see, don't tell him I'm telling you this part too, but when you have friends zone somebody, in fact there was one time I even told him, you're just like an uncle to me. So he went from friend zone to uncle zone. But baby, I'm sorry for what I put you through all these years. So by late 20 December 2016, I had to write ABU Zaria Masters entrance exam, and I went to Zaria, and coincidentally that was where he was working. So he was the one that picked me up from the park and then took me to the school to write the exam. And then there was something that he did. As in, you know when you say chivalry, when they say chivalry of the highest order. So he took me to the exam, and at the end of the exam I couldn't go back to Abuja that same day. And then this dude took me to his house and then sorted me out, like food, water, everything. And the next thing was like, he has one work that he has to go to. This one, and then he disappeared. Like, he just went away. I didn't see him for the rest of that. I don't know whether I saw him for the rest of my stay. But what I got to find out was that he had deliberately, intentionally left the house so that he doesn't even have to stay there at all, because he valued our friendship so much that he didn't want to mess it up. So he didn't want to hear I stretch hand and one hand now touch this shoulder or this one. So uncle, when they say flee, uncle completely fled fled from temptation. And I think that was kind of like what impressed me so much, because I was like, are you serious? I actually believed him that he had work, like he had, like, duty called him away. But when I found out the truth I was like, are you for real? So from that December 2016, that was now when I started, like, opening up my heart, sort of, to even see that this guy that I've friend zone since, he's actually a nice person. Let me even start listening to him. And so by February, I think it was February. By February of 2017 was when I now told him, okay, let's give this relationship a try. And when I said it, when you say something like this and the person just feels like, sorry, what did you say? So I said it and he felt like he did not hear me well. He now made me repeat myself again. Someone that was asking me out and I've said, oh yeah, let's try. Wanted me to repeat it so that you'll be sure that his ears are not hearing things. And I was like, yeah, let's give the relationship a try. And that was how we started. So from February 2017, we dated through 2018, 2020, and 2021. So we dated for 4 years. Wow. We dated for 4 years. And then he proposed in March 2020. Oh, sorry. He proposed in 2019. So we dated for 2 years. We dated for 2 years, from February 2017 to March 2019 when he proposed. Yeah, we dated for 2 years. And from when he proposed in March 2019, we're engaged for another 2 years before we got married in 2021. And now we have been married for over a year and 6 months. So that's the story of how we met. Oh my God, such a romantic story, if I'm saying so myself. So that's how I met my husband. And the last question here, question number 10, says, how long have you been away? How long have we been away from each other? So How long have we been away? I think, how do I say how long have we been away? How do I don't get that question? Is it, well, maybe was is the person asking maybe what's the longest time that we've been apart for? Longest time we've been apart for, I'll say was 2 years. I'll say was 2 years, because when we started dating in February 2017, he had to travel by April of that same year, and then I had to travel by September of that same year, and he came back the next year, but I didn't come back until like almost 2 years later. So it was after 2 years. So our entire time dating, we were apart. But like I shared earlier, there is nothing about me that he did not know. There is nothing about him that I did not know, because we're always on the phone. Like, the connection, the communication was just up there. So we were apart physically, but emotionally we were so close. And that's one thing I've even got to learn, that people being close emotionally, sometimes it doesn't have to do with distance. You might have people in the same physical environment, but not as emotionally close. So that's also something that I got to learn. Now I'm kind of digressing, but when we start living together, I had to tell my husband that we would have times, even if we're under the same roof, we'll have times where we'll sit down and talk. Like, the fact that when we're apart, we used to have long calls where we talk about different things, about our days. Let's not just assume that because we are living under the same roof, then that translates to emotional connection. So you it was funny, because you might just think that, oh, it's automatic, yeah, we've been apart, now we're together. But no, it actually requires an extra work to not just assume that, okay, this person knows all about what happened in your day, or this person knows all about how you are feeling. We had to make that extra effort, even while we are in, like, cohabiting is in the same space, to talk about things. Talk about, okay, how do you feel about this thing that happened? Okay, what would you what would you suggest about this thing I want to do? Okay, what's your advice about this? What decision should I take about this? So see, you have to make that effort to talk, distance or no distance. Talk is very essential when it comes to relationships. So I think that's, to answer that question, the longest distance we've spent apart was 2 years. And after we got engaged, we were still apart, but we got to see each other like maybe 3 times in a year. I don't think we saw any 4 times, or like 2 to 3 times in a year. Yeah, during our dating time. So the times we saw, like, each time we saw would probably be like maybe a week. I don't think we saw for up to 2 weeks consecutively after we got engaged, but like, of course, the calls were always there. And then thankfully, after we got married, the first year of marriage, we were still apart. But heading into the second year of marriage, thankfully, we're now living together under one roof. And like I said, one of the things about challenges is just the uncertainty of not knowing when they'll be posted out. But it's fine. We live in the moment. I live in the moment. So I'm just going to cherish every single moment that comes. Okay? Wow, guys. So I've actually answered all the questions. I think I've answered all the questions. I've answered all the questions. Chizoba says, would you? Chizoba was commenting about that my Batman question. Yes, I had to ask, what do you do besides fighting crimes? So I think I've covered all the questions from the chat. Let me know in the comment section if there's any other thing I'm missing out. or if there's any other thing you want me to add. But I think I have basically come to the end of the live. So just drop in the live chat now if there's any other thing you want me to touch on. And have you gotten value for your time? Did you enjoy the live video? Did you enjoy the live stream? I know I did. I actually enjoyed sharing some of these stories with you. I hope you also enjoyed it. Let me know how it did, guys. Please drop your live chats. Talk to me in the comments. How did the live go? Did you get to know me better? Did I get to add any value to you in any way? Did you enjoy the live? And don't forget to like this live video. Hit the like button if you've not hit it already. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Let YouTube know that this video has value. Let YouTube know that this video has value. Thumbs up, guys. Thumbs up. Okay, I think I can call it quits now. Thank you, everybody. See, thank you for being with me on this live. I appreciate you, everybody that is, see, those anonymous people that I don't hear, I don't know you're there, but you're watching me. I appreciate you. Chizoba says yes, she enjoyed it. Thank you, Chizoba. Thank you so much for your support. Thanks, girl. Thank you, sister girl. Thank you. You enjoyed the love story. So you love love, Abby. Well done. You love love, Chizoba. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. This is 71 minutes. Man, you guys are the real MVPs. I love you all. Thank you. Thanks so much. I think I can end the live here. So exciting to shoot. Da la 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 la.